Hello, especially for the Dirty Secrets channel.
Train squealed to a stop at the small station. Emma Foster stood on the platform, her suitcase heavy beside her. 10 years since she'd left this town, vowing never to return. Now here she was, summoned by a cryptic letter from her estranged father. "Your mother needs you. Come home." And nothing more. Just 5 words that had pulled her back to the place she'd tried so desperately to escape. The familiar scent of pine and coal dust hung in the air. Some things never changed. Her childhood home looked smaller than she remembered. The white paint had yellowed, and the porch sagged like an old man too tired to stand straight. Through the front window, she could see her father's silhouette, unmoving in his armchair. Waiting. Emma took a deep breath and walked up the path. "She doesn't recognize anyone anymore," her father said, not looking up from his coffee. "Some days she doesn't speak at all." Emma nodded, watching her mother through the bedroom doorway. Martha Foster sat by the window, thin fingers tracing patterns on the glass, eyes fixed on something invisible in the garden. "Early onset dementia," her father continued. "Started about 3 years ago. Doctors say it's progressing faster than usual." Emma felt a cold knot tighten in her stomach. 3 years. Her father hadn't called until now. That night, lying in her childhood bed, Emma heard footsteps in the hallway. Soft, hesitant steps that stopped outside her door. The handle turned slowly, and her mother's face appeared in the darkness. "Elizabeth," her mother whispered. "Is that you, Elizabeth?" Elizabeth. Her mother's sister who had died at 17. Long before Emma was born. Emma found the key while cleaning. Small and brass, tucked behind a loose baseboard in the kitchen. It fit perfectly into the lock of her father's desk drawer, the one he'd always kept closed. Inside lay a stack of letters, all addressed to her mother in the same handwriting. All postmarked from a town 4 hours away. All signed with the initial J. The most recent was dated just 6 months ago. When her father returned from the grocery store, Emma was waiting, the letters spread across the kitchen table. "Who is Jay?" she asked. Her father's face drained of color. He set down the grocery bags and sat heavily at the table. "James Sullivan," he said finally. "Your mother's first love. The man she was engaged to before me." Emma stared at him. She was writing to another man? All these years? "No," her father whispered. "I was." "Your mother never knew I found these," her father explained, opening a shoebox from the attic. Inside was a bundle of yellowed photographs. A young woman, unmistakably her mother, smiling beside a tall man with kind eyes. James died 2 months before their wedding. Car accident. Martha was devastated. He paused. "I'd always loved her from afar. I was there to comfort her. Eventually, we married." Emma flipped through the photos, a cold realization dawning. She never stopped loving him, did she? Her father's silence was answer enough. "So you wrote to him, pretending to be her?" "For decades." "I wrote the letters she couldn't," he said defensively. "I sent them to a post office box that no longer existed. It helped me understand her better." Emma held up the newest letter. "But someone's been answering." Emma found her mother staring into the bathroom mirror, lips moving in silent conversation. "Mom," she ventured. "Who are you talking to?" Martha turned, eyes suddenly clear. "He visits me, you know. When the walls get thin." "Who visits you?" "James." Her mother smiled. "He's waiting for me. Says I need to remember something important first." She gripped Emma's wrist with surprising strength. "Something about your father. Something about you." That night, Emma awoke to find her mother standing at the foot of her bed. "You look just like her," Martha whispered. "My sweet Elizabeth." "I'm Emma, Mom. Your daughter." Martha shook her head firmly. "No." Elizabeth had a daughter named Emma. But you're not her. You can't be. The cemetery was overgrown, but Emma found the stone easily enough. Elizabeth Foster, 1947 to 1964. Beloved daughter and sister. I never met your aunt, her father said, standing behind her. She died long before I knew your mother. Mom keeps calling me Elizabeth. Her father nodded sadly. The dementia confuses her. She's living in different times. Emma traced the dates on the gravestone. She would have been 17 when she died. How? Her father shifted uncomfortably. Suicide, they said. Though your grandmother never believed it. On the walk back to the car, Emma noticed another gravestone nearby. James Sullivan, 1945 to 1967. You said James died before he could marry Mom. In a car accident. Her father didn't meet her eyes. That's what your mother told me. Mrs. Hobbs had been the town librarian for over 50 years. Her eyes lit up with recognition when Emma introduced herself. Martha Foster's girl. My goodness, you look just like your Aunt Elizabeth. Emma seized the opportunity. Did you know Elizabeth? Oh, yes, dear. Such a tragedy. Mrs. Hobbs lowered her voice. Found in the river they were. Both of them. Emma felt her heart skip. Both. Elizabeth and young James Sullivan. They'd been meeting in secret. Your grandfather forbade the relationship, you see. Nobody knows what happened that night. Some said murder-suicide, others an accident. But James died 3 years later in 1967. Mrs. Hobbs looked confused. No, dear. They died the same night. November 12, 1964. The address 4J led Emma to a small nursing home. The receptionist directed her to a sunroom where an elderly woman sat knitting. Josephine Sullivan, the woman introduced herself. James was my brother. Emma felt dizzy. But the letters... They were signed J. Josephine nodded. I started writing to your mother years ago. I found her letters at the post office box. James had shown me where it was. They were addressed to my dead brother, but I couldn't bear to see them go unanswered. But why would my father send letters pretending to be my mother? Josephine looked confused. Your father? No, dear. Those letters were in Martha's handwriting. I'd recognize it anywhere. Emma tore through the house, searching her mother's belongings. In a hollow book, she found a leather journal. Her mother's diary. May 15, 1964. James and Elizabeth meet in secret again. He loves her, I know it. Father would kill them both if he knew. June 3, 1964. Elizabeth is pregnant. She's terrified. James promises they'll run away together. November 11, 1964. They're leaving tonight. I've helped them pack. Elizabeth made me swear never to tell a soul. November 13, 1964. They're gone. Police found their clothes by the river. Father says they drowned, but I know better. They escaped. They're free. The entries continued for years. Martha convinced that her sister and James had faked their deaths to escape together. That they were raising a child, a daughter named Emma. Emma confronted her father with the journal. Tell me the truth. All of it. He aged 10 years before her eyes. Your mother had a breakdown after Elizabeth died. She created this. Fantasy that Elizabeth and James had escaped started a new life. And me? Where do I fit in? We adopted you when you were 3 days old. Martha insisted we name you Emma. She was convinced you were Elizabeth's daughter, somehow sent to us. He rubbed his face. As you grew older, you looked more and more like Elizabeth. It only reinforced Martha's delusion. The letters to James? After we adopted you, she started writing to James, telling him about his daughter. I intercepted them, of course. Eventually, I started answering them, pretending to be him. But then Josephine found the letters and began responding as well, Emma realized. So Mom was getting real replies. Her father nodded miserably. I never knew. Emma sat by her mother's bed, holding her thin hand. I know who you are, Martha said suddenly, her eyes clear. You're Emma. My daughter. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. Yes, Mom. But not Elizabeth's daughter. I know that now. Martha squeezed her hand. The fog lifts sometimes, and I remember what's real. Do you remember the letters? To James. Martha smiled sadly. I knew they weren't really from him, but it was easier to pretend. She looked out the window. Your father thought he was protecting me with his letters, and I let him believe he was. Why didn't you tell me I was adopted? Because you were always ours, Martha said simply. From the moment we held you. That night, Emma dreamed of a young couple running away together, of a river crossing, of new names and new lives. The possibilities and parallel worlds where stories didn't end in tragedy. In the morning, she sat between her parents at the breakfast table, three people connected by secrets, lies, love, and now, finally, truth. The silence between them felt different now. Lighter somehow. As if, after all these years, it could finally be broken.
Thank you for watching. If you liked the story, like, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Thank you.